Welcome to Netlinked Weekly. Today we've got, well, the same thing as last week, except it'll be slightly different. So what's hot, awesome deals, as well as tips and news. So we're going to start with our weekly game of Can You Find Linus in the NCIX sale banner. So all you got to do is click the link to the banner vault below the video, and you can see if you can find the animated version of me hiding somewhere in the Canada Day sale event banner. So there's a clue. I'm not this guy inside the bigger suit of this guy putting mustard on the video card. Today we also have a special guest. Billy from our RMA department will be joining us, and he'll be showing you guys how to install a CPU as well as how to RMA a motherboard back to NCIX safely. So Billy, thanks for joining us. Let's start with the most common reason that people RMA motherboards.
Well, let's start off with bent pins first.
Here, move over. You're not in the frame. There
Okay.
we go.
Okay, let's start off with bent pins first. Primarily, most motherboards come back with bent pins. Reason for this is because either you're installing it improperly or possibly when shipping it back it gets damaged.
Okay, so we're going to do an overlay of a motherboard with bent pins. This one was RMA'd by a customer, and unfortunately, the bad news is NCIX cannot replace these for you. Why is that, Billy?
It's just not covered under warranty, nor is it covered under the manufacturer warranty. Anything physically damaged with the motherboard, it's kind of tough luck there.
All right, Billy, show us the correct installation procedure for a CPU going into an LGA 1155 motherboard. So step one is you remove the socket cover, whether that means you have to lift up the arm or you don't have to lift up the arm.
In this case, you do. Make sure you actually remove the socket cover very carefully, as if you don't, you can cause the bent pins as well.
That's a good tip, guys. Write that one down. Step two is check the alignment of the golden arrow against the arrow that is on the CPU socket itself. Make sure that when you're inserting the CPU, you use no downward force, and those arrows are aligned without any grinding or sliding into the socket.
When installing CPU, make sure that there's even pressure applied throughout the installation process. Any uneven pressure that can cause the pins to bend on the socket.
So what he means is on one side you can mush down all the pins, and on the other side be applying no pressure as you're putting it in. The third step is to pull down the lever arm. This can require a fair amount of force. Don't worry, it's safe as long as the CPU is in there evenly.
Yeah.
So now when you're RMAing your CPU, you're going to want to do those steps in reverse. So Billy, I'm going to get you to remove the CPU fairly quickly, and I want you to show the viewers the two different kinds of socket covers. These are so important because if you RMA your motherboard without a socket cover, there's a very good chance those pins will get damaged in shipping and you will get no coverage for your motherboard from the manufacturer. So show us the one that goes over top first.
Okay. Well, there's this one here, which is the newer style of the socket covers, as opposed to the older one here that's in the socket itself.
Go ahead and show us the installation process.
Well, we just installed it.
I know, but just
Okay.
eat it. No, the installation process of the socket cover.
Okay.
How do you get good help these days?
It's tough.
This is what I get for doing special guest appearances.
All right, when actually installing the socket cover itself, do make sure that for these ones, these newer ones, they don't go actually inside. They actually clip from the back to the front. So make sure you clip it from the back, and then you lean it towards the front, and you'll hear a certain click.
There you go. Good tip. All right, show us the older style that actually does go under the retention bracket.
So we have display here. This one up here.
So this is the removal process here, guys. If you can remove it. They're actually kind of tough. I think that's why they don't use these ones anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, now show us putting it back in without damaging any pins, although this one's already damaged pretty good.
Once again, you'll either hear a click or it should just fit in nicely. And you just put the cover back on, lock the arm in, and you're good.
All right, well, thanks for your help, Billy. So we learned today how to install a CPU and how to ship a motherboard back for RMA. Wasn't that fun, folks? Remember, RMA your motherboards safely. Moving right along to our top 5 deals of the week, we've got the PlayStation Vita console, which comes with a bonus copy of Gravity Rush. I think what they mean is free, but I guess bonus is good as well. We've also got the Parrot AR.Drone 2.0. So there's a slightly different price in the States. Honestly, the pricing isn't really special, but what's special is that it's available at NCIX now. So the Parrot Drone 2.0 is faster, more agile. It has an HD camera compared to the non-HD camera on the original one. And we're actually going to have some content coming on this pretty soon. Very exciting. This is the Canada Day sale this week. So we've got a Kingston Canadian Pride USB 2.0 8 gig thumb drive. It's $4 and it's actually just a red thumb drive, but they put a Canadian package on it, so it's kind of cool. You know, for $4, you know, why not, right? This is the deal to end all deals. This is the OCZ Agility 3 360 gig. This is a SandForce SATA 3 asynchronous flash drive for $200 after a $20 MIR. That is untouchable. Nobody in the world, I can tell you guys that, nobody in the world has this deal, except for NCIX. Last but not least, we've got the XFX Radeon HD 7970. That's right, that's a 7970. It wasn't that long ago that 7950s were going for this kind of a price point. This is around the same price as a GTX 670, except that the 7970, once you overclock it, is more competitive in performance with the 680 once overclocked. So that is a very exciting deal as well. You got your dual fan cooler as well. See, I gotta stop bumping this TV. Look what it does. It's crazy. All right, so our tip for how to use NCIX this week is going to be how to take advantage of shipping deals. This week there's a $4.98 ground shipping deal for orders over $50 and under 100 pounds, which means basically whatever you're ordering, the shipping is $5. So all you gotta do is see when there's a shipping deal, which will be on the sale banner. And then once you're in the cart, make sure you select the shipping promo, because the shipping promo ships by whatever method we want, whatever's cheapest. Honestly, guys, we're giving it to you for $5. So what can we do, right? So if you want a specific carrier, like if you really want Purelator or you really want FedEx, you can select that yourself. But according to the cart that I put together, you're going to be spending as much as 10 or 20 times more than the ground shipping promo. So make sure you choose the ground shipping promo in order to save on the shipping. News for this week is pretty straightforward. So the big news here in Vancouver anyway is the Vancouver LAN. So that's going to be a LAN in Vancouver. See what they did there? Vancouver. It's not full yet. This is a 200-seat LAN, so you can meet the crazy Russian. He'll be there for most of the weekend. You can play video games, and you can drink balls, which, if you're not already aware, is an energy drink, not balls. The other crazy news we have is that Thunderbolt motherboards are getting less expensive, which means you can use stuff like... You can use... Hold on, let me fix the mic. Unbelievable. The kind of... I swear, it's impossible to get good help these days. You can use things like the GoFlex Desk from Seagate, which is a Thunderbolt external drive, much more cheaply. So the Pro Thunderbolt version of their P8Z77V Pro or whatever, okay, the Thunderbolt version of their Pro level motherboard is over $100 cheaper than the premium board we showed you before. Yeah, it doesn't have all the same features as the premium, but it does still have external wireless antennas. It's still got high-speed Thunderbolt, and it's still an ASUS quality motherboard, so hard to go wrong with something like that. We changed to a slightly different format for customer testimonials. I want you guys tweeting them to me beforehand. So we've got 4 that we picked. Benson Yang says, awesome customer service, delivered using Purelator ground the next day and packed well so there's no damage. Recommend to all. Kyle Friedman, or Friedman, depending on how you want to pronounce that, says, I bought a 2600K and a P67A GD55 on launch. So that, if you guys don't remember, was the Sandy Bridge B2 chipset fiasco for the P67 motherboards. When the new B3 boards came in, I was able to swap mine for a new one, no hassle at all. Distinct Trinata, okay, got a GTX 670 from you. It was listed for more on NCIX, then it was on another site, but you dropped the price for me. I actually remember this guy. He tweeted me. He was like, oh, well, that GTX 670 is too expensive. I was like, bam, now it's not. Next, we've got Superman 950-64959. I was going to say, if that's 7 digits, I really hope it's not his phone number because everyone's going to call him now. I love you, NCIX. My $100 Radeon 6850 went cross-country in 4 days. Linus, you are the best tech reviewer out there, plus Slick. He spelled Slick's name wrong, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's more of a dunce than Slick because you saw Slick's throwing arm. Would you believe he used to play football? unfreaking real. I can't even believe he did that. So, thank you for checking out this episode of Netlinked Weekly. We covered what's hot, awesome deals, as well as tips and news. Remember, the most important tip, don't hit your TV, it's bad. Don't forget to subscribe.